Just going to double check the stream is up and running. 2 seconds. Yeah, sweet. Seems to be running every time, so yeah, good stuff. Let's wait for the room to get filled a bit. Awesome. Yo, what's going on, Zeph? Yeah, sweet. So wrapped up morning routines, all good. Got a few trades running. NJ's good. I think NJ subjective because, you know, we tapped into this high, but I don't think it's coming down. I think it's just stalling right now, but there's the possibility because we came in here, we broke back in, and now we could continue to maybe come back lower. So there's that variable of a riskier trade. One other trade I was looking at, I brought onto my watch list because I liked it as much as I like NJ. Was this? For someone who wasn't able to catch it earlier, could potentially be an interesting hedge play. If this it doesn't look like a recovery. It looks like those pairs we were looking at are going to continue. This is going to continue to the downside, but if that sells off, this most likely will come down as well. So that's the only variable there. But in terms of a structure and, you know, what's there, this could be an interesting gameplay as well on a buy. More on the side of, could you get in on something like this? And play that long. It's kind of what I'm looking at. It's what I'm interested in. We're gonna have to wait and see. Oh, yeah, it's cropped out the screen, my bad. Can't see it. Move that across. That's still too big. Hold on. That looks about right. Sweet. Yeah, so let's read some of these questions. How was the webinar? Still. Yeah, I got out of NJ. Actually, to be fair, I kind of regretted getting out because I went away and I came back, had breakfast, and then I saw this and it was pulling back and I was like, So I kind of just locked in 1% and it took me out. So that was a bit of a mistake. Other one shaped up. Oh, came off my watch list. Yay. There is. We are coming into New York session now though soon. This one here, remember what we were saying before where we were looking for that sort of continuation? The only difference is we did tap into that low, but it's still a trade that's still kind of on where, you know, you could take it like that and you see the high time frame, it's still moving lower. That was just some sort of inflection area. So we could potentially still sell off and come to the downside, and then we negate that, and then that was actually never really the point we were looking at, and it was here. So for that reason, I'm not putting too much weight on that bit, and I'm still just playing the structure, but it's riskier. It's definitely riskier, but we're getting a bit good confirmation here. Look, the 15 and the 1. It looks good. It's just, it's a riskier trade because of the makeup of, you know, that, and the 4 hours as well looking a bit, it's not looking too good, but, you know, if you want to play against that, you can. It's just one of those ones now. I think if it shapes up and the 5 minute goes, great too. We'll have to wait and see. It's one of those ones I wouldn't get in the 5 because for whatever reason, let's say price decides not to, you don't want for it to just impulse up like that and it hits it. So if you have your stop loss quite tight, you could risk slippage. Spreads in that, I don't really know too closely. I'm still in GU though. GU, I started marking up my trades like this. So 1%, 2%, borderline 3% on this trade right now, which is good. I took out 1% today, but remember I took those 2 losses. So right now I am hovering around about just under 1% loss for the day because I took yesterday's losses. So they got tagged out today and those losses were up there. The losses were this one here, which was on the back end of that, where I took the entry here, stop loss below, and I left it open, and then I took the scale in with stop loss below here. And then when that plummeted, it just took both trades out, so it is what it is. And now we're down there, and I've been able to get entry in here. Well, you can see 50% was there, so it's done a 50% retrace. I'm hoping it holds here and it goes, otherwise I take a break even on this. And it is what it is. But right now it's stalling at that 50%. I mean, it's on it, so it's nothing significant. That's what I'm looking at. Hey Mike, what's going on? Just took EA short. Nice, yeah, me too. Me too. It's risky, but I'm willing to take this one. It's just one of those ones where it's like you miss this trade, and now you have this trade in the worst positioning possible. So yeah, you know what territory you're playing with, and for me it's the worst trade in the whole sequence here, because that is correction into correction into correction now. You're at the bottom of the test, and then you've taken the entry. So I'm asking for trouble. That's why it's one of those ones where I'm not going to be surprised if it tags us out. Just want to kind of bear that in mind. Even though it can look great in isolation, positioning is not the best. But then when you zoom out and you look at it on the weekly and daily, you know, it's kind of not the worst thing in the world, but okay, that's very corrective on the weekly. On the daily, again, it's still fairly corrective. It's already tapped into the baseline there, so it can technically move higher. You then look at it on the 4 hour, you've kind of done this, so that's done what it needs to. That was the bit that it gravitated towards. Now it's tapped into it, and you've had a pretty decent 4 hour close on it. But I'll just invert this because I like to see this. Look, what it's kind of done is it's kind of just broken above, but it's wicked. It's really just wicked towards it. And with these ones, it's kind of where I'm more on the side of, let me just go to the 1 hour. It's not really the most significant situation. I mean, to be fair, short, I mean, to go to the upside, because this is inverted, a buy is not so bad either here. I think a buy is a little bit more of a cunning trade, but I'm not going to buy this, obviously, because I'm looking at this. 1, 2, 3. Essentially this being that section there. And then I'm looking to play that to the downside, just like you guys, but it's not the greatest trade in the world, to be honest. Yeah, so we're going to see how that one plays out. That's kind of just like, yeah, one of them ones. Let's see how the 5 minute shapes up. I mean, that right now the 15 minute doesn't look good. But it doesn't, I mean, it looks good in terms of the confirmation, but the candle after it's like indecisive, showing us that this could, you know, do that and continue higher. So we have to be careful of something like that forming. But if something like that forms, then we've got the clear message. We have the 4 hour here. We've got the insurance entry to go long, and we go long. And then we just accept that maybe we took a loss here, but then we're getting the message to go long. So you can pivot as needs be. But right now, I'm still positive with the short. You know, I'm more interested in this area down here, and then maybe further. So where we might be looking at this, you know, being a 5% trade, which is still pretty good. You know, it could turn into quite a good trade at 10%. So I want to see how that plays. Looking at GA is also there, and it's given a decent 4 hour candle touch. So push away to the upside. This could be a trap. In fact, we could be stuck in a trap right now. We have to be careful, because yes, we have that, but it's a difficult one, because look, you've come back and tested the low now, but the overall move, I don't see why it would want to stop there and move all the way back up. So the sell still looks good. The sell looks really good, but does this form into something over here? Because look, that was one large piece of its own. This can just start, you know, doing its thing, and eventually that sells off into one piece of its own here. It's possible. Look at how corrective all of that was. So that's something I will be careful of. But the 4 hour on this does not look good for shorts, especially through that low. Look at that. If you saw that, would you buy that? Really, would you buy that? And that's the thing that I'm kind of on edge with. But in EA's situation, EA hasn't done that. To be exact, it's kind of weak to it. So yeah, it's one of those. It's high risk, man. This is definitely more on the high risk side of trades, but it's like take your pick. Then we have Aussie 200 for the buy, which is borderline here. See what it does. GU, you're the only one really keeping me going right now. GU. So you know what happened, right? We had, remember I told you this morning we had the test here, and we said we were going to come back, probably just hit that and go. I literally got tagged by the pip there. So then I re-entered literally right there on the line just above it. So on the 1 hour, I just entered there and put my stop loss below, or wherever down here. I think I got tagged out, and then I entered like seconds later. I think on the 5 minute it was here. So I was able to enter it here. I got tagged out there, and then I just re-entered it immediately because I was watching it. And then I was like, okay, cool. Same position. So I did get tagged out, but then I got tagged in. So I didn't bother putting it as another trade because it was the same trade. It was just I was too slow with moving my stop loss from break even to open. As I was just doing it, this just spiked, and I was like, oh shoot. So I had to quickly reopen it, and luckily it was very simple. Everything was already set for me. So yeah, that was the situation. Nothing crazy, but I thought I'd just share that. So this is running borderline 3%. It's pretty much the only one right now which is looking pretty good on my portfolio. This one's okay. I mean, I took the 1% on that if anyone was wondering. So I got involved for USD yen buy. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling a USD yen buy. I don't know about you guys, but it's looking good. Sorry, I haven't read these comments. Okay, so I took EA short good. Bit late entry, could do better. Hi Kunal. Hey Yasin. Managed to get that long on GU as we spoke about this morning. Great, yeah, wonderful, man. You know, it's very nice to know that quite a lot of you actually are actually making good percentage off these videos. So I'm really happy to see that as well. I know like 3 people passed funding assessments from just taking trades that I mentioned. Now I'm not saying you should take the trades that I'm taking. By no means am I saying that, but I mean, you know, it's nice to hear things like that. So your funding success based on my growth is really nice, man. So yeah, I think we got someone who passed 10K, another guy passed 100K, someone passed 600K. But again, like, you know, some of these things pass and you guys already did most of the work. I kind of just maybe sprinkled some fairy dust on top of it. Another guy passed a 50K, and I think someone else is like should have passed today if they took NJ with us, because they were on the messages on the chat when NJ went just before the end. So yes, that's interesting. So yeah, I mean, look, like 5 people sent me certificates with big thank you messages, and that's like, it's amazing. It's really nice. Okay, so let me just quickly read these messages as I come down to that. Still in those secured 0.7. Yeah, nice. My entry is set on EA, taken on the hourly. Entry set 6 pips below the hourly candle. What? EA 6 pips below the hourly candle. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, down here. Yeah, it's very small. That's probably the best thing you could do. You know, I saw that close there and I took it below. Yeah, as this comes up, you know, that's not a good sign. It's not what we want to see right now, but let me just see GA. Yeah, it's not, that's not the price action we want to be seeing on that candle formation. It's EA though, it can pull back a little bit before it sells, so we have to obviously know that. Let me see, 15. Yeah, so you know, you don't want to go too tight on this candle. If you've gone tight here, I worry you probably get tagged out easily. Here it's not so much different, but you've got a little bit more breathing room, and then obviously putting a bit extra, ideally in this situation, is good. But yeah, we'll wait and see, man. It's still, the trade's still on in terms of that. The hourly's there. It's a bit wicky. It's the only thing I really don't like, and we can't neglect that we tapped into this. I'll put that ray line on for anyone who doesn't know. We've tapped into this, and on GA, on the 4 hour, we've also had a 4 hour close there. So if you want to take a 4 hour hedge play, by all means, you're in a good place to do so. If you want to buy that against your sell, right? Because you might make, in the idea of the hedges, if you're wrong on the sell, then you make your loss back on the buy. And if you are wrong on the sell here, right, you make the money on GA. And if GA does sell, then you take the loss on GA and you make the money on EA. And that would be the whole idea here. But again, it's one of those ones where, you know, we're not here to hedge today. We're here to see if we play. It's just worse. This is the worst positioning in terms of this particular sequence here, because it's there. But when I zoom out and I look at it on daily, it's like, well, I'm just going to use this. I know people don't use it, but you know, we're kind of borderline coming into the red zone as well. And then if I take this off, I don't know if any of you know what I'm doing, but it's just basically kind of in that amber zone. So this can develop as well. Yeah, one of them. Anyway, GU's there. GU's running 3%. Lovely. This one looks like it's coming back up from the 50%, so we might survive. Who knows? Might be a break even. It might move higher. We've got to wait and see. NJ, I should have stayed in it, but I took 1%. Great. And then I've got UJ now, where UJ looks like it's building an insurance entry, but maybe not. Got to wait and see. And then the DXY, I do like that UJ's holding a little bit whilst the DXY is kind of moving lower, but I don't think UJ was the one. I think UJ is the one that is a trickier one, because if the DXY is selling off, you're going to really assume that UJ is going to go with it. And then whilst other yen pairs are moving up, this is like, you know, doing that. So that's kind of the mindset that I'm in right now, where I'm looking at that. Yeah, amazing. So yeah, let's wait and see how that shapes up anyway. I'm really happy with these trades anyway, so we'll have to wait and see. But NJ, I'll probably still shadow this one. Don't know about you guys. Yeah, it's actually 101. What do you think about Aussie CAD? I really thought Aussie CAD was a banger. Truly, the trade right here in this region, I think it was 15-minute. That was the trade. I saw this in the morning when I woke up. Yeah, it was too early for me. But yeah, I could have probably gone with it 8 pips. I think when it ran around about 3 point something, I would have got out around about here because of that pullback. But if I survived it, yeah, it would have been like a 7-8% trade. In the moment, I wasn't feeling it because for some reason, I just thought my stop loss was too big. I don't know why, but I thought when I was looking at it, risk reward on this is horrible. I don't know why I was thinking that. I was like, oh man, yeah, risk reward up here. It's 10 to 1, it's going to take forever. But then you see price action and price action moves. So it's a wrong thing. So that was something I have to put into my ASR this week as well, is not to assume where price is going to go. It's a major one, the assumption in price action. DAX, H4M. Don't tease me. H4M, let's see. That's actually quite interesting. You've found that. I think all-time high is right there as well. Yeah, I don't think we're going to come back up. Actually, I think if we're going to sell, we're going to sell, and this is going to go with it. And then my Aussie 200 might sell as well. I don't know. I think 5 minute. You want to look for this. Yep, mark that one right there. That was a good trade there as well, but entry didn't seem like it shaped up. If this comes back up and then sells a bit and it hovers in here and then we come borderline, you know, something in there, New York session, you're in here, that would be nice. Oops. If I got something like this, I would be really happy to take it. Something like that would be phenomenal. I don't know about you guys, but I would love a trade like that to go short. And then you go back and you look at it on the 1 hour. It's basically, you know, below all of that as well. So maybe in that fact, it comes back and just pushes a bit higher, whatever. Does whatever it has to do, but you see what I mean? Like, positioning right now, that looks stunning. That's great. Comes back to the downside. Let's see, daily. Oh, mate. Well, good spot. Very good spot with this one. Because if it comes for the sell, that's going to be a banger of a trade. Truly, that's going to be a real good banger trade. But that being said, we are positioned quite impulsive to the upside, like you can see. But there is a pullback coming. But that's what makes me think that this might not be the big sell that you're hoping for. I think it's just going to be a bit of a push down and maybe tap into that area there, just below it, this one right here. And it does that where it comes in here and then retraces, and then we get some sort of hovering here, and eventually boom, and it turns into that. And then we're not going for this. We take that off, and then probably you measure this up from here to here. Put it here, borderline, yep. So yeah, I think we're at the start of a larger continuation to move higher, but there's the possibility of a good trade to sell. Because even if you took this trade, you still make something. You know, let's say you took the trade in here, stop loss above, to that low there, yeah, you got a 3 to 1 at least. And then if it is the trade you think it is, and it goes, then yeah, it turns into quite a big trade. But then if it's not, you probably walk away with roughly around about 2.5%. That's what I'm seeing. What? EA Alcos. Oh, wait, sorry, let me read these comments. My entry, H4. What do you think about Aussie CAD? Yep, okay, we did that. EA 1 hour close, full risk. You're running 1% on, are you running 1% on DAX or you're running 1% on EA? But yeah, GA, USD Swiss. Let's see what else I had. Yep, these are climbing. Oh, look at that. Man, this is the one that I was saying in the morning. Arguably, man, I said this yesterday, yen day, man. This is a yen day. CAD yen arguably is better than, it's better than, shit. Man, forget NJ. NJ is sick. NJ is a wicked trade as well, but it's gone now. I took out, I got out. UJ is good. I'm in UJ, but CJ, one sec, let me just scan through these yen pairs again. AJ not ready yet. Or it might be not giving us that entry clear. Swiss yen, not nicest. Yeah, CAD yen and UJ. Are we getting insurance entry? Man, if you guys are looking to take a trade and you could take your pick, man. I'm not going to get in CAD yen, but I think CAD yen's the beast, the hidden beast. What a pair. I hope I don't regret this. That's the only thing. I hope that this is what I think it is and it goes and it doesn't bother me. This one, I'm sure. Like, look at that. Look at the internal. Just came in here, you had your expand and it evolved, it came in there. Like, if you look at it on the 5 as well, it's good. I would have really and truly wanted to, oh man, what a beast, man. Like, technically, I love this trade. Absolutely love this trade for a long. What's the hourly? Literally don't have either on this week. Hey, I didn't have USD yen, but I had New Zealand yen and CAD yen. So I had EJ, couldn't find anything. I had CAD yen, at the time it was all the way up here, and I had AJ. But then I said, let me go through my yen pairs. You see how I got this list here? I just pick yen pairs, go through them, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Some of them are shaping up, some of them are not. Positioning, like NJ earlier today, it was right there, London session. You know, we had the trade right here. So I was able to take it. Now I've got UJ, I've taken UJ. Same situation, just a larger flag, but it's more confirmed. It's just UJ. UJ is it's a tricky pair, man. It has a mind of it. It's a bit like a Charizard. USD yen is a Charizard. It literally does whatever it wants to do. Yeah, CAD yen, I should have been a bit more sharp. What's the stop loss protection on this? 15 pips. I could still 15 pip that, to be fair. I'm not going to do it, but yeah, CAD yen, but on the 1 hour, it's standing on wicks. Ah, okay, good, yeah, nice spot. I mean, it is absolutely doing that, but really and truly, those wicks don't have as much weight as the structure. Look at the structure. Look at it like this. It's already done the cleanest part off it. If that's your baseline, right, and then you draw this on here, that's your tops and that's your internal 1, 2, 3 into that baseline. Protection down there. You need to ask for much more. You go to the 5 minute. What are you worried? Price going to do this? You know, or even sell off from there. And you're not wrong, can't be wrong, but it's unlikely. And it's that's the probability side of things. Is it likely or unlikely? I think a lot of people will look back on this week and they'll be regretting the trades that went. Like, yeah, I'll be either regretting that I got out of NJ and got into UJ instead, or I will be extremely happy. I don't know. I won't tell. But CAD yen, I think CAD yen is a beast. A beast. A beast. Let me see. I've already got a few trades open, so I don't want to take CAD yen as well. I bet EA is doing well for us, man. I bet it hasn't tagged us out. Let's go and short. Yep, we're good. We're good. This is good for now. Stalling. Let's have a wait to see. Let's see CAD yen. CAD. Yeah, it's okay. I think we've got to wait and see now. Um, we're pretty positioned up anyway, to be honest. There's a lot of trades. You got CAD, Euro, Aussie, USD, Yen, GBP, US dollar, Aussie 200. And then you've also got the ones that we're not even looking at. You've got gold. Gold shaping up for something in this region. You've got silver, WTI. Oh no, we did sell off. Oh man. You know what? You look away for one day. I didn't even look at I didn't look at it for a while and it sold off. Man, there was trades. I had that marked on as well. Was anything we don't just sold off? Anyway, I couldn't have done much about this one, to be fair. Copper, coffee, corn, yep, cocoa, corn, corn. Interesting one, corn. What were we looking at? Wheat to remember, wheat for the sale. I think that looks much better for the sale now than it did before, but I don't like that little random wick. But that's looking a lot better in terms of that push down, the flag, and the move. Okay, now what do you think of Aussie 200? Aussie, what do you think of Aussie 200 and entry on 15? Sean, where have you been? Sean, where have you been? Let's see. I am already in the trade from here. So I think taking it now is tricky because you're taking it with the 50% being it, but you don't know. So yeah, if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the problem is, it's not responding. You see how we had that high? We then created this now, and we have this low. So this can turn into a structure like that and continue selling, and then you're stuck in the trade. So I think from where it's positioned, it's not great. I think if you go up and then you get a flag here, that's the flag you want to take, because it's kind of confirming to you that we're not responding to the shorts and we're moving higher. It's one of those ones, like even this trade was good because you had this and then you had that as your high, that as the low, through this low, but then you had this continuation that broke above. And then you had this sort of continuation here where it looked like it was just going to completely move. But for some reason it turned around. And then what you have now is a larger time frame. You've got major, let's go to the daily. You've got daily low here, and then you've got a 1, 2, 3 into it in a form of an expanding, which is a reversal pattern, which is then turning around. You then go to the 4 hour, and you had a bit of a 4 hour retrace. Now it's pulled back 50%. Right? Oh no, it hasn't. It hasn't pulled back 50%. It's still got a bit in it. If you're doing it from the body, it hasn't pulled back fully. It still has a bit more ahead of it. It could do this. It could really just push a little bit lower. So yeah, I'd be careful, because from the body, it could still push a bit like this and then go. But from the actual candle, from top to bottom, it's done 50%. From here, 50% from there, and from here. Yeah, no, it hasn't done 50%, man, at all off the candle. And plus, it's not even retraced 50% of the previous candle. So we're still in bearish territory, even though we're positioned here, because we're still contained below that period. However, when I do look at it from here to here, from this high to that low, we've tapped into that 50%. But again, you know, we're sitting here, so we want to see a response from that before anything. But it's tricky because, you know, what do you have to go on? You don't have a lot. So if you take the trade, it's riskier. So there was a trade on gold long time. Yeah, I mean, gold had a lot of good trades on it, man, really. You had You know, you've basically had trade here. You've had the whole trade idea here. You've had this as a trade. You probably have had other trades inside there as well. Remember, I'm an hourly, so it's kind of like take your pick. You know, on the break over here, you could have probably even reduced risk from there. This one over here with the candle, you got it refined over there. This one was not the best in terms of the overall larger structure because it didn't even tap into that section there. But when it started pushing higher and started breaking, there was a clue, and that I think that was the best trade, really and truly. Like I know some people were able to catch other trades, but from here to here, stop loss there. You know, borderline you're running 3% on that. The other trades are a bit more trickier, but down there was a trade. Yeah, I mean, you know, I always try to remind myself like there was no incredible trade here. There was no trade that just was like, yes, best trade in the world. Let me add Kajen down here. But yeah, so Euro Aussie, we've got a Euro Aussie short. I've got a GBP US dollar long, which is there. Do you know what? I'll draw them on there as well. I was putting the numbers, but I prefer it when it's actually on here. And I'm planning to go higher. I've got EA. EA's there. Hey, look at that. Look at that candle formation. If we close on the hourly in 15 minutes from now, that doesn't really make much difference, but it's still holding. That's good. So we've got GU, AU, 200. EN. I'll have a look at EN in a second. We've got NJ. NJ I've taken 1%, so I need to put that in my. I think I already journaled it. Yep, I've got NJ, sorry, so that's done. I've got UJ long, so I didn't even mark that up. Let me mark that up now. That's not correct. Let me just quickly get that accurate. UJ. Oh shit, I went with a large stop loss. What the hell? How big was my stop loss? Oh, I protected all the way down there. And I went with a huge stop loss on this one. Flipping out. Anyway, that being said, we do have news in the afternoon. But yeah, why did I go with such a large stop loss? I mean, you know, we talk about adding extra, but that was extra. It's a whole extra trade. And then we got CJ, where I'm shadowing this now. I've got CJ as well. Let's say, as a shadow, I take it from where it is. I'll mark it from here, and let's put a stop loss just below. Maybe around like that. Yeah, that's where I would put it. And play on the hourly. Yep, so these are the trades that I would personally be shadowing, and I will have open live. So if I just mark that up again, I'm basically from down here. Oh, hey. Okay. Yeah, cool. We'll see how that shapes up. I think there's a lot of trades there, so I'm going to look at EN in a second. So it's UJ. Yeah. 15-minute. Yep. Maybe. Yeah. So that's quite a new tool for me. I was using one before on this one, but it was annoying because it kept mixing up with this tool. So every time I wanted to change it, I had to do this, and it would be like that. And I did like this one. Don't get me wrong, this one's cool, but I actually prefer the one I've got now because it's a little bit more easier to use. Let me just put this back 50% raw. Okay, cool. And let's quickly double check this Kajen. So we've got Kajen, NJ. NJ's done. I'm gonna remove NJ's one there and this. But I am gonna still just monitor it for the sakes. GUEA. Okay, let's have a look at that trade. So that was Euro New Zealand. Ah, I see. Okay, okay. So we tapped into this area finally. We pushed away. Oh, that's good. There was a trade here. Oh, I didn't even know this one. I didn't have it on watch, but yeah, you could have taken the trade here. Could have cropped it maybe if you want 30 pips, just for argument's sake. But because when you look at it, you did kind of come in like this as well. You kind of came up into that area. We had the right areas marked up anyway. Yeah, that's nice. It's really nice, man. Beautiful trade. It's Euro New Zealand though, so I'm not that big fan, but still, really good trade there. If you're looking for a trade now, oh, yeah. If you're looking for a trade now, you're gonna have to wait. I think the odds are either this comes down and does that, and you just don't get your trade and it messes about, or the very obvious one is probably what you forecasted, where you're gonna wait for this to do whatever it needs to do. This becomes the middle section, so it's going to be corrected and slow, but then it just spikes up, taps into that area, gives you insurance entry and sells. And then you're basically playing that. But again, look at this, like the pattern separation on this is crazy. You've got basically that as one piece of its own, then you've got kind of, I don't even know, it's one of those ones where I've got a kind of really yeah, you can see it. There's just like, it's just, there's a lot of patterns going on in here. I'm not going to be surprised if this just carries on in this really ugly sideways price action. So yeah, EN's, it's one you got to just, yeah. Is it possible for it to sell long term? I don't think so. I don't know if it's going to be a long term trade because of what I just mentioned. It's done what it needs to do in this area though. So in terms of it going, it doesn't have much reason to hang about anymore. But saying that, you know, the thing is you've tapped into this bit of liquidity, you filled the gaps and stuff, you've completed on this, but now it's becoming more obvious the longer we hover around here. Price can either just kind of develop and then sell, and then that was the trade, or price should just kind of just keep going now. That's what you want to see. And I think if you're in a trade and you're at break even, then cool. But at the same time, I think if you're anywhere up here, you're kind of okay. But I know with EN, it has a tendency where it can just do something like this and then drop as well. I took it at 25 to 1 over here somewhere. 5213. So here, you took it in that region with 30 pips. Let me just see where 30 pips is. Yeah, look, listen, there's one thing you have to bear in mind. If price stays in this area, if it comes up here and it's anywhere in this area by swaps, you're gonna have to be careful. Because I don't know how big swaps can be, but if price just pushes up higher, you'll be taken out. You will definitely be taken out for break even. So by swaps, you're gonna have to move your risk open. It's just think how things are if you want to survive this trade. But when price goes, right, price will probably start rallying and you'll be well protected in this area and you can hold that for a longer term trade. If price doesn't do that and it tags you out for break even during the daytime, then it is what it is. There's no point trying to put your stop loss up here and be like, yeah, cool. Right now you're looking for this sort of to respond to something like that. And then it just kind of goes, and that's what you want. And then your stops are there and you're good. Break even was good. But towards the end of the day, which is going to be roughly around about here, what you don't want to see is price action still in this area. That's what you don't want to see. Okay. It'll be like that on the 1 hour, but this is what you do not want to see. This sideways price action here. It's going to make your life a lot more difficult. It doesn't mean it's not going to sell, but it means that when it comes to spreads and all of this stuff, you're going to have to open your risk exposure. You can't leave that break even. Has EA committed, guys? No. This doesn't look nice, man, anymore. It should have committed. I'm gonna probably exit this trade. I think it's exit it now. We've got the hourly close in literally 7 minutes, but price is basically creating continuation to move higher. So I think the original trade thesis of this being what we thought it was, it's going to be that, and it's not a short. It's actually going to become a long. I'm going to exit my position. Yeah, I'm going to exit the position. Let me just go to EA. You guys can stay in it though. I don't think it's the worst trade in the world. I just think that it's not the trade that I want to be in. So I've just exited that position with a small loss. Listen, the next hourly candle closes in 5 minutes, so if you want to wait for it, you can wait for it. It's not a big deal. It's just, I was looking for a complete different response, and it's hovered around for enough time for it to become some sort of continuation to move higher. So that's just really put me off the trade. Let me just put that into the journal. Screenshots not showing. Let me just take the screenshots again. Sometimes, you know, it's one of those things where it comes down to preference. If you want to be in the trade, you don't want to be in the trade. Personally, it's just something that I've got other trades going on right now. So in terms of preference, take your pick. Like I'm not completely excited about this particular trade in any way. compared to what other things we have on board, like UJ, CJ, GBP US dollar, Aussie 200 is looking like it's going to break even me right now. Let's have a little look. Yeah, it's coming down to borderline. But again, I said the 4-hour candle, if we measure that one in and we take it from the body, that's what we really want to be looking at as the major last line in the sand situation. 15, yeah, we're basically tapping into that. So we wait and see if we survive this or not. If it taps into that, moves higher, great. If not, we've got a clear message from the market. That's the line in the sand right now. See if it holds. Anyway, so that was a 0.5 minus. And what about this one? This was a loss, yep, win. Yeah. It is what it is. Let's see your DAX trade, man. The DAX one was kind of exciting when I saw it. Dear DAX. Germany 40, there we go. Yep, lovely. Absolutely stunning. Look at that. You want to manage it a little bit. It's up to you actually. You can be loose or you can be aggressive. I would be a bit more cautious as we come into that low there. But it's nothing significant. It's just right now we could get continuation. This is a great place for continuation, especially that we've tapped into this. We're now breaking lower. 4-hour momentum. Look how that 4-hour closed, guys. Great candle. 1 hour, 15-minute. Could still develop. We could still develop. I wouldn't get too aggressive at this point. If we start coming back up, we do this, get a base, and we come back up into this area, that sell is going to be a nice sell. So that would be a trade worth the risk. Good, very nice. Aussie 200, not looking too good either, but let's see how we respond. Remember, that's the last line in the sand, that 50% right there. I think it was that borderline here, but yeah. There to there. Let's see how GU is doing. Maybe there's a scaling coming in on EU GU. I think so. We have to be sharp because the DXY is here. But we have news. We have news coming out. Hopefully coming out at 1:30 UK. It has also come down like this. So we cannot deny that this could be a reversal to move to the upside. Look at that. If I invert that, look at that. And then you look at it a bit closer on the 4. If you saw that, would you sell it? And if the answer is yes, then it's a bit of a cautious situation to be in. But yeah. What background is scary? Wait, what? So CPI, So CPI still coming out. Yeah, it doesn't say it's not. Nothing says that the news isn't coming out. But this is like trapping. Dollar edges lower, and then watch how dollar spikes. You know, it's always a situation. But yeah, you can see upside down, we pushed up and then we consolidated, broke the high, retested essentially this whole area here. And now it looks like price is coming. And if I go to the 15.5, what did we have? Well, we kind of pushed down, then we had this. Now maybe it pushes down and we get another one. it goes, and then you look back on it on the hourly, and you're like, oh snap, how did I miss that, right? We didn't miss it, you just had a strong bias to the other side, where I think I'm holding the wrong side bias now. I'm kind of stuck. I'm really hoping this becomes a good long, when in fact this can still sell. Let's see EU. Look at AU. AU, its position there, just broke the high. It's on its next 4-hour candle, which coincidentally closes after the news, right? News is at 1:30, next candle opens at 2. Could be all the way down here, retraced back in. So then you go down to the 15 and the 5, positioning for sort of AFT entries are quite good actually. Something like that. You got involved here, played it with stop loss quite large. Oh, 5 pips is there. Yeah, I'll go 8 pips. Boom, right there. And then you're playing that as the trade idea. Not the best idea, but and if we're looking at USD CAD long, does it have reason to go long? Yeah, it could. You know, we've basically filled this section here. It's a possibility. It's a possibility go short too. There's probably the trap where people are trying to go short. EA, yeah, you know, I was expecting something irregular on EA. Not to scare you out of your position, but something to just be aware of, to be honest. But again, you know, I've got my position kind of hedged now. So UJ goes long. If the DXY goes long, UJ probably shoots up. You know, CJ might as well go with it, right? But then obviously NJ is here. NJ probably going to be a beast of a pair as well. So for the guys who are still holding NJ, good. It's going to be good. GU, if GU fails, then fair enough. If UJ fails, fair enough. If UJ and GU go long, we're good. What about GJ? Enough for that for me. Kind of in there was a section. E. Nah, man, I like CJ and UJ a lot more. I liked NJ here, where I took it. Yeah, let's wait and see, man. Let's wait and see. We've got news a bit later today. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe we get a strong push on these pairs, or maybe we get a retrace back in. That would suck. You know, what would suck is if it actually does become really volatile, it pushes up and then pushes back down, and then it does that, and then we can then get positioned for shorts because we're in that area. I don't know if that's going to be the gameplay, but looking at EJ as well, EJ's up here, so EJ could just sell off and go with news. NJ, if NJ kind of sold off from here, I would have to see it more so as very irregular, like a swing, like I would have to assume it's basically retesting something, retesting that. That would have to be it. It's retesting this, it's then failed, and then it will come down here, and then we'll get continuations, and it will sell. So even if you took a loss, you'd make it all back on these. So that would be the situation there. AJ, if AJ sold off, why would AJ sell off here? Maybe short term it sold off, came back down, tested this, and then eventually came up, and then you had more of this sort of channel. That's a possibility too, and then that's kind of like within this, very irregular, but that's only looking at the potential for it to sell off from where it is. If GJ sold off, yeah, same situation, kind of retesting that, still left a gap. It's then creating this where it's coming down, taps into this area, and then goes long. I'm much more for that. I think that would be a banging price to buy with GJ if it came back there. CJ might just be a sharp sell-off, taps into this and then just goes long, and then it's just that. That's all it is. And then Kajin, we just said that. So yeah. But listen, that's on the sell side. I'm not looking at sells. I'm looking at longs. I think the longs are great. I think we've got a lot of opportunity in the market right now. US JP225. JP225 technically has already shaped up. We were looking at this yesterday. I think I don't think Ak is here, but Ak mentioned this. And yeah, we're looking at this. So when you kind of see that it's in the right area right now for that. I'm not a big fan of this right now, but yeah, for that 15-minute as well, you're getting your sort of 5-minute flag. Nah, it's a trickier one. I would really want to see a push up and then a flag here, but then again, this is technically, arguably, enough if you're playing this. So then you could take that, you know, on this borderline, this area, stop loss, probably extra protection, probably go 15, and then you play it to the upside, and you got more than a 3-to-1 there anyway. So that would basically be the JP225 trade, and then you're basically anticipating the break of this, and it goes long and turns into a 10% trade. So JP225 is nice as well. It's likely going to give you the 10-to-1 a lot quicker than some of these pairs, but who knows? We can't assume a lot of this. I do like the fact that if you do think about it now psychologically, you had the continuation, the break above, the small consolidation, and then we just shoot with news, maybe. Yeah, good. Anyway, guys, just to recap, I'm gonna head off now. So I was took small loss on this one, which is fine. Not a fan of this one anymore because of how it's forming. Wouldn't be surprised if this goes long. I should have really pivoted on my trade here, but I don't like the fact that it's still inside all of this. But yeah, in terms of the pivot, maybe there where I got out, I could have got in, reversed the trade, and then played that long. See GA? Where's GA? Yeah, maybe the trade is still good, and I just got out too early. But anyway, that's the trade there. So that one is done. I'm gonna take that off. GU's borderline running 3% for me. Yep, 3%. AU's got basically, it's either gonna reverse now, move higher, or it's gonna take me out. So it is what it is. NU, I'm out the trade, but I was in here. It was a bit of a mistake, but it is what it is. I'll put this here. And then close these up. And then I've got a GU, which is running profit. Don't know what happened here. But yeah, GU is running profit. If I move that to the hourly, there it is, running borderline 3%. This one is there. This one is almost running, it's 0.5% profit, and then the shadow on CJ is now also running nothing, pretty much, because I went with large stop losses. If I went a bit more cropped, I would be running probably borderline 1% now, but I did put extra, so yeah. Alright guys, gonna shoot off, gonna go do some meditation, prep for New York session, and then catch you guys later. Take care. It was a pleasure.